Hi, did you ever struggle to accomplish something? This is Dave Panarisi from EmpoweringDreams.net down here in sunny Florida. And what we're talking about today is consistency and being consistent in your life. Being consistent, you're not going to guarantee success, but one thing is for sure, you will guarantee failure if you're not consistent. There's something magical about being consistent in your work. It gets you in the flow. It creates momentum. It's called the big mo. And doing consistent work is like adding little pieces to a scale until it tips in your favor. You'll probably notice in sports teams who are out there doing consistent practices and playing consistent in the game. I like to watch football, so you'll see a team who has some momentum. They're driving down the field. They're playing consistent. The other team can't stop them. And all of a sudden there's an interception or a fumble. And the next thing you know, the momentum's gone. And the other team has it. And the same thing with your life and in your business. You get into a flow, you're doing the consistent work, and there's something about putting it out to either the universe or God or whatever way you want to think about it, and you're just declaring that you're going to get it done. And I think it also, builds some self-belief in yourself by doing the work every single day. I do a lot of self-help programs, and I see a lot of people who get involved in self-help programs, and one of the biggest mistakes they make is they try it for a week. I mean, even the good ones, they might try it for 2 weeks and then they quit. They're not consistent enough in what they're doing. They'll try it one day and they'll give up the next. We have a lot of self-limiting beliefs, and it happens on the unconscious level, and that takes time to change. They did an experiment with astronauts where they gave astronauts some goggles, and those goggles turned their glasses. They turned the world upside down, and they had to wear those glasses 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And lo and behold, after about day 26, the first astronaut that had it happen to him, his brain flipped those glasses back up around so his world was right side up. It typically takes somewhere between 21 and 30 days. I've heard other studies say up to 40 days for some people. So your brain will adjust to the actions that you're taking. Now, what they did was they took this experiment one step further. They took some of the astronauts and they had them remove their goggles for one day, or the glasses there for one day. And when they did that, they had to start all over from day one. It took them another 30 days for their brains to flip the world around again. And the same thing in your actions, in your behavior, in your business, whatever you're trying to accomplish, especially in self-help programs where we're dealing with the unconscious mind. If you're giving up too early, if you're breaking the consistency, it's like going back and starting all over again. You gain that momentum to a certain point, you take the day off, you let something else get in the way, and next thing you know, you're playing catch up again. So one of the greatest things you can do for your business is to be consistent every single day, doing the core items that's going to help you get to the point that you want to get to. Now, consistency is just one of the items, but is definitely one of the key ones. So to your success, I'll sign off now. This is Dave Panarisi from EmpoweringDreams.net. Have a great day.